From a classroom teacher to a selfless social worker with a master's degree, a self-made woman with loads of personal life experiences and challenges. She stops at nothing to reach people from all parts of the world. To be motivated and inspired, it is time to connect with Caroline's Motivational Television, CMTV.
Hello! Today we're going to be talking about the role that every individual plays in society. And when I say individual, I mean every single human in the universe. They have their role to play as a citizen of this world. So take a closer look at these fingers. I know I used these before. I want us to look at the significance of these 5 fingers. I mean, when I take off one of these 5 fingers, the role that my hand can play can never be the same because one finger is missing. So each and every single finger right here has a role to play in terms of the functionality of my hand. So never you look down on anybody's profession, because every single profession is very, very important. We can be the president of a country, minister, bring down the hierarchy from top bottom. We need each other to survive in our daily living. I'm going to break it down so we can have a clear understanding of what I'm trying to say, because I have experienced situations where people in power are taking advantage of domestic staff just because they are cleaners, they are washers, they are babysitters, they are cooks, they are house help. So in general, I would say domestic staff. I'm gonna go back to when we were all born. We have our different ages, and we do not choose the parents that we have. We found ourselves in this universe, and we have to live by the terms of the parents that we are born to. Some families have the opportunities to do whatever, to go to higher levels of education that they can, but at the same time, others don't. So opportunities are not spread across the board the same way for everybody. Opportunities are different. There are haves, there are have-nots. So we have a lot of children in society where they are very brilliant, smart, and aspiring to excel in education, to complete high school, complete secondary school, complete university, and become doctors and professionals, name it. It's their dream. But because they are from families that are struggling, that are have-nots, parents are focused on putting food on the table for their children, so they don't have enough money to invest in educating their children, not by choice. It's because they do not have the opportunity to do so. So some of these smart children end up without attaining the level that they had been aspiring to reach when they were younger. I know some children grow up with the resistance and the questions and blames to the parents, but sometimes Honestly, the parents, they have no choice because of circumstances. And so when these children, no matter how smart they are, and they're spending this time with their families just to make ends meet, to go hand to mouth, and struggling because they did not have the opportunity to go to school like everybody else, we have to respect what they do. Inasmuch as we may say, we may label the type of jobs that these children who did not have the opportunities to go to school, inasmuch as they may have they may not have the white collar jobs. The jobs that they have is as important as whatever positions that others have in society. If you had the opportunity to go to school because your parents could afford to pay your tuition and see you through university and your degrees and everything, and today you are a doctor, you are a professional, an engineer, a minister, a president of a country, it is because you had those opportunities. So we cannot use those opportunities that we had to belittle others, to bully others, to look at others in a condescending manner because we don't know their story. Every individual has their story to tell. And if you sit down, if you give them the opportunity to sit down with you, to tell their story, that is the only time that you will be able to understand exactly where these people are coming from. I have a typical example where I sat down with this young man and I questioned him about his education. This is a young man that I knew in the community who is a very smart guy, aspiring, always called himself the diplomat, wanted to see himself in society where he is imparting knowledge to every level in the university as he could. But because of the limitations from his family, he couldn't get to that point. His story is an amazing one.
Here is the story of a young man who aspired to be a diplomat, but his dreams were cut short because his family could not meet up with his financial needs to sponsor him through university. This is his story.
And my admission into the University of Boya, that was the year the university introduced the Department of Education. So I was very excited to read education because I've always wanted to become a professor in future. So we went in for the registration process in that Department of Education, and I was the first student to register, and I was the one having the first matricule number 0001 of that department. So after the registration, we went in for orientation that was broadcast by the national television because it was the first year, the first batch of that department. So we went for orientation. It was broadcast over the national television, and my family, my friends, my relatives, everybody was telling me they saw me on the TV. Due to one or two circumstances, my father became unfit to continue with my education, so I had to drop out from school. When I become of age, despite I know I was advanced in age somehow, but I had that aspire to go back to school. So I went back and registered in the university. And it was challenging because, you know, after a long time without school, to read, the brain was a block, but I faced it and I believe in myself that I'm going to finish this program. And believe me, right now as I'm talking to you, I'm a degree holder. Never give up on your dreams, always believe in yourself, no matter your age.
This young man is now a graduate from the University of Kearney in New York, United States of America.
So we all belong to different age groups, and when you look at the dynamics of the group, we may have individuals in the same group who are the firstborn in their families, and we may also have individuals in the same group who are the lastborns in their families. So these two positions, they have different responsibilities, unique responsibilities. So as a first child in a family, the responsibility is massive because the rest of the siblings that you have, they are looking up to you to ensure that you take care of them. It's like you inherit the responsibility of your father and you take up that role as the next father of the family to provide for the rest of the siblings. But within the same age group, you can also have those who are lastborns of the family, and guess what? They are the receivers, they have less responsibility, and so you can never compare yourselves with somebody else because you don't know their story. While one person is struggling to make sure that they raise the rest of the family members to become somebody in society, there's somebody else who belongs to that same age group who is the last member of that family who doesn't struggle but receives from the rest of their older siblings. These two, very dynamic, their circumstances are different, and so just picture a situation where these individuals, one is making it big in life and the other is still struggling. Then you can see, when you understand the family tree of these two people, then you will understand what the struggles are, what they are dealing with on a daily basis.
And inasmuch as these individuals may just love to enjoy their hard-earned money by living a luxurious life just like their peers, their inherited responsibilities may just be pushing them back to the ground over and over again.
So we need to be able to understand people's stories before we can start talking and arguing or making stories about people. This is very critical. And it is very, very unique within society for people to easily talk about other people because they don't see them building mansions, they don't see them buying cars or piloting planes. You don't know somebody's story. I can be a struggling mother and all I'm doing is to put food on the table for my children, and I live in a cramped one-room house with 10 of my children. If my goal is to educate my children, I am looking at my long-term goals down the road where these 10 children are going to be tomorrow. So I cannot take the little that I'm making to go and rent a very big house to go and live in a big city where I am not able to pay the rent just because I want to meet up with other age mates. So we need to be very technical and understand each other and know exactly what individuals are going through in society and stop labeling and stigmatizing people. If you had the opportunity to become who you are today, you should be very grateful for the opportunities that you had, whoever supported you to get you to this level, and for those who did not have those opportunities. Do not give up because hard work pays off. If you are determined you are going to make it, it is never late. It is never late. And so, my friends, every profession, every status that you hold in society, no matter what it is, be it the most dirty job that you have or the most clean job that you have, every single position that you hold in society matters, because We all need each other in order to function properly. One cannot function properly without the other. We need our cooks, we need our cleaners, we need our laundrymen, we need our drivers, we need our gate men, we need everybody on board in order to make life very easy. Each and every single one of you is as important as the teachers, the doctors, the ministers. You are as important as all of this, because if you are not there, then these big positions, they are not going to function as properly as they should.